Welcome back to the Double One podcast, and today we have a really special guest, Anders Östman, the visionary mind behind GoDartsPro, one of the most innovative training platforms in modern darts. Welcome, Anders.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
We're going to talk about technology, junior development, Scholia integration, and the story behind the platform. So let's just jump right in. For listeners who might not know you yet, could you introduce yourself and tell us how you ended up combining darts and technology in the first place?
My name is Anders Östman, eller Östman, as we say in Sweden. I'm from Gothenburg, Sweden, and this is the story about GoDartsPro is quite emotional for me, and I get very engaged when I talk about it. So please interrupt me if you have any questions. But actually, to tell you the story, we need to go back to New Year's Eve 2016. A close friend to me died on New Year's Eve, so it's emotional days nowadays, and it took me pretty hard. And a few weeks later, it was a very emotional funeral, and I afterwards I understand that I took his loss, this loss, very hard. And it was a difficult time for me. So, and if we fast forward like 6 weeks, me and my wife went to Mauritius for a honeymoon, which it was intended to be the perfect trip. And day one, I get the influenza. So I stayed in bed 14 out of 15 days. And it may sound like a perfect honeymoon, but it wasn't. So, to spice it up, on the way home, I ate something bad on the flight, so I got salmonella and got sick for another 2 or 3 weeks. So in total, I was sick for like 6 weeks, and it stressed me a lot because I was working as an IT consultant in a small team at that point in Sweden, and it got me more and more stressed. And in June, I couldn't hardly sleep. So for 3 weeks, I couldn't sleep. I was so stressed about the situation. I wasn't feeling happy. I wasn't doing anything fun. I quit a band, or I was playing drums in a metal band. So a lot of things changed for me. So I really felt that if I don't do a major change, I will get burned out. I would crash or hit the wall, as we say in Sweden. I sat down with a piece of paper and a pen, and to write things that made me happy and enjoy things previously in life. And the first thing I wrote was darts. And I played a lot of darts in the 90s with friends. And during that time, I was a basketball coach and a basketball player. And I remember the great feeling of just throwing darts. So after a few minutes, I said, I need to do something about this. So I asked my very understanding wife, can I please set up a dartboard in our living room? And she looked at me with a weird face and said, oh, yeah, of course. So I brought down my old dartboard from the 90s, put it up and starting throwing darts. And after like 3-4 evenings, I could feel the change. It changed my life. I got inspired. I could sleep like a baby again. And instead of worrying about work or getting stressed about things, I would just throw darts. So, and I felt again, I need to do something about this. So I Googled and I ordered new darts, new dartboard, lighting, surround, everything. And I Googled to find what happened with darts since the 90s when I played a lot. So, and I couldn't find much. I found a few apps for 501s, but I wanted to improve. I wanted to practice in a serious way to improve. So I remembered a few routines I came up with in the 90s for me and my friends. And so I felt, let's develop these as with the technology I know. So I created a few games and started to practice every evening. And it took me like 2-3 weeks, and I felt this is quite fun. And I joined a few darts forums on the internet, and found that people were asking about training a lot. So and I found a few more game ideas and added them. And after a few weeks, I felt maybe there are more darts nerds out there who would enjoy this. So I shot some photos, set up a website, named it GoDartsPro, and created a weird logo for it, and uploaded it and launched it on our first wedding anniversary, actually. That way it's easier to remember both dates. So, and I remember when I logged in after we celebrated the wedding anniversary. The day after, people signed up from New Zealand, Australia, Canada, from many different countries. And I had like 10 emails from people asking, yeah, this is fantastic. Can we have more statistics? Can we have more games, more features, more everything? More is more. So I started to develop a few more games. And I think it was like in 3 months later in November, I think I had about 13 games or so. I got an email from a Finnish guy called Mikko Laihoon, from Winmo. He was working in the UK for Winmo and Red Dragon as a professional darts coach. At that time, he coached Simon Whitlock, Mark Webster, many good players at Winmo and Red Dragon. And he was a bit upset that I added one of his games, the 420 game. It was a game he came up with and added to the Winmo practice zone. So he wrote me an email with a few perkeles and a few other strong words, and saying that, but GoDartsPro looks nice, so but you could have asked first. And but let's keep contact because I like what I see. Sort of. He emailed me, and so I immediately wrote him a polite answer that I was sorry that I borrowed one of his games, and wrote him my story. And 2 minutes later, he called me and was even more upset than happy. So a few more perkeles, but in a happy way. And he was so excited that it was someone outside UK who was interested in darts, and one from Scandinavia. So he was really happy, and because he had similar ideas, but he couldn't develop games. So he asked me to come over to Winmo and UK to visit him, which I did like 2 months later in January. And we clicked right away. It was good feeling right away about Mikko. He loved darts. He lived for darts 24/7. And so we sat down and discussed what ways we could cooperate. I was living in Sweden. He was living in UK, working for Winmo as a darts coach, and also as a salesman. So we exchanged a few emails for the following 2-3 months, and then decided to start a company in UK together. So I moved over to UK again, and we set up the company, and we call it Darts Dudes. So it was just me and Mikko. So the relation to Winmo was just like promotional. So we started to work day and night, every spare minute. We exchanged emails and messages, and I developed all his ideas, and he texted me new ideas every day. So it was intense times. But then I think it was in August, so about 1 year after my first launch, we launched GoDartsPro version 2 together with all Mikko's ideas. Not all, but the most important things. And did like a new start for GoDartsPro. And it was fantastic. The response from the members were fantastic. So it was very interesting times, and at that time we also met Steve Brown from JDC, the Junior Darts Corporation, and they needed a help to set up like a system for their academies worldwide. And so me and Mikko decided to let's sponsor JDC and set up and use part of our technology for their academies. And it's been a good choice, and they have been a close partner to me since then. And it's fantastic to see the juniors practice so much, and they develop so fast. So it's fantastic.
Was there there a moment when you realized, or which perkele was it when you realized that this partnership could actually become something big? How many perkeles did you need to get from Mikko?
Everyone who knows Mikko knew that it would be like a 20 or 30 perkeles before he calmed down. He was a very intense guy, but when I met him, we clicked right away, as I said. So it's so easy to just read the text when you email, but when you meet, you get the real person behind. So and it was true passion for us both to work that close, and we continued. People starting our member base starting to grow slowly. At that time, we had about 800 members, I think, maybe 1,000. And we started to develop more and more games, listening to requests. But Mikko also wrote books about darts training. So I had I asked him once, how many games do we need? We have like 20 games now. How many do we need? And he answered, Perkele, we need 1,000. Because he knew that to stay motivated, to stay inspired as a darts player, you need to find new ways. You need to be curious to figure out what's working for you. So we, as I said, we continued to work a lot together. And in early, like 6 months later, we managed to get the first payout check from GoDartsPro. It wasn't much. It was a few £100, but we managed to get some money from the idea, and it was fantastic because we were working full time with our daily jobs and communicating every evening, every free time. So it was fantastic. But unfortunately, everyone who knows the story about Mikko Laihoon, he tragically died. So, and I remember that day exactly what I did. I was in a meeting with a customer, and I had 3-4 missed calls from UK, a number I didn't know, and a friend request on Facebook I didn't know about, and I got a text message, Anders, please call me, it's about Mikko. And it was a colleague to Mikko and a darts friend to Mikko who called me, and he didn't show up at the sales work that morning, so they got worried, and yeah, they found him dead, unfortunately. So, and I was in total shock. All our dreams, all our plans just like faded away for me. I couldn't believe it because we talked about darts during Saturday, during Sunday, and on Monday he was gone. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's emotional. I can see that it's really emotional for you, and I understand.
Yeah.
And this about Mikko Laihoon's legacy. If it's okay to you to talk about Mikko Laihoon's legacy.
Yeah, of course, of course.
We are a Finnish podcast, and Mikko Laihoon is he's a big hero for me because when I started to play darts 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago, everything was so similar in Finnish darts except Mikko Laihoon's thoughts. So when I saw that there was a guy who was a visionary who thought darts different, like you said, we need to have 1,000 perkele games in our GoDartsPro. So I was interested. I'm really keen to know more about Mikko Laihoon and his legacy. And once when we talked, you said that when we first time changed some emails a few years ago, you talked about that when Mikko passed away, you wanted to continue with this GoDartsPro and with his legacy, and you had even asked permission from his family. How was it the time after Mikko passed away and the guy from Westkusten in Sweden wanted to continue the legacy of two dudes? What was it? Two dudes?
Darts dudes.
Yes.
Yeah. It was a very difficult time. Honestly, I couldn't understand if I could continue without Mikko. It felt so hard because, of course, I started GoDartsPro on my own and had the original idea for it, but we changed so much, and he had so much influence on me and how I thought about darts and darts training. So for me, it was very, very difficult. And Of course, when we started the company in the UK, we had 50-50 in that company. Mikko was darts and I was the dude. So we had 50-50, and his family inherited it, his part. So I was in contact with his daughter, and she was very understanding. I didn't want to, of course, push her during that hard time. But after a few months, I felt we need to have a serious discussion if I could continue, because during that time I had so much support from our members. They understood. They sent me messages and encouraging things. I hope you continue with what you started, Anders. And so I felt I need to do something. So I asked for the permission to continue, and yeah, we agreed, and since then I continued and also got the permission to use his name and the ideas he had and everything. So it was a fantastic feeling to be able to continue, because yeah, Mikko influenced me a lot, I said, and I had so many ideas of what we had discussed over these 18 months we worked together. So I wanted to continue with a few of those, and the major part was the virtual coach that we have on GoDartsPro. Just the month before Mikko passed away, we sat down and had long discussions of we need to create a virtual coach that works 24/7 for the players. So that was my mission, to continue and finish what we discussed and finish what we started. So when I launched the virtual coach about a year later, I had quite a few tears in my eyes, because Mikko would have been really proud.
Yeah, he was clapping on your shoulder from the heaven. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
With few perkeles. Perkele,
Of course.
Anders, you did it.
Of course.
Yeah, it's the Finnish way.
Yeah.
So when we think about your persona, so first was darts, then there was Anders, who was an IT consultant, and then there was darts consultant Anders. So you kind of combined your passions.
Yeah, and that's how I used to previously in life as well. I used to be a photographer, doing wedding photography and stuff, and yeah, it was like a big hobby for me, photography, and then I started to work with photography. So I usually do that with my hobbies.
You have been a really big asset with the GoDartsPro for the JDC academies. I have been now seeing that work that you are doing background. The GoDartsPro itself is an app for everybody, but there is also this JDC closed section for the academies. Why did you choose to go to the junior darts? Why is it so important to you? Everybody says that Anders levererar, it's more like Anders is doing really good things if you translate it to English. So why youths?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I was a basketball coach for many years when I grew up. First playing basketball, of course. My brother was my coach, and then I started coaching on my own. And of course, I coached younger players, and it was fantastic to get the response, to see them grow, to see them fall in love with the sport. And for me, it was the same thing with darts. And actually, basketball and darts have so much in common. You need to practice shooting in many different ways. You need to do the follow through. There's a lot of mental aspects as well as a darts player. So when I worked, when I was a basketball coach, I was like obsessed with finding out new drills for the players to learn how to shoot in a proper way. Shoot when moving, shoot when jumping, shoot when having a defense in front of you. And so I probably have that in my DNA, to create drills to get better. So for me, it was when Steve Brown reached out asking for help to create something with the JDC, it was absolute yes for both me and Mikko. And it's been a fantastic journey to see many of the players grow up and become such a good players.
Yeah. What is the background behind the JDC challenge. So everybody knows the game called JDC Challenge, but it cannot be JDC Challenge when we didn't have JDC. So where is the origin of that game?
The origin of that game is it was Steve Brown who created it. He started up an academy with juniors. I can't remember which year, but many years
2015.
ago. 2015. Yeah, there you go. So they had for that academy, they had printed out like sheets with boxes you could fill out scores for that routine. So and the routine is a great routine for anyone. It's quite hard for complete beginners. So that's also why we're looking at new development for the JDC at this moment. So, but it's both scorings and doubles, and you need to focus on different areas of the board. So, and instead of filling out the papers every week, because the players do one session with the coach every week to get the grading. After one season, after 8 weeks, their average tell them which color of as a player they are. So they used it since 2015, I guess. So I added it I think it was game number 9 or something. I added back in 2017 because I saw many people asking about it, and it's a really good game to use digitally since there are so many different ways and you need to write all the scores and everything. So it was a perfect add-on, and Steve really liked what he saw when I showed him the game and what we could do. So it's been working great since then. And just a year after Mikko passed away, we were hit by COVID. So and in UK it was a complete lockdown. So they panicked. They reached out to me asking, Anders, we need to come up with something. We need to do something because the kids cannot come to the academies. They cannot practice. So we had many weeks of discussions to figure out a way for the players to use the JDC challenge from home. So we came up with a JDC virtual and launched it like a month later, and it was a complete success. At that moment before COVID, I had 4,000 members maybe, and after like 2 months, we had 15,000 members. And everyone wanted to play and participate in the JDC virtual. And basically it was the JDC challenge, but you had to put up a camera, at least one camera at home, facing the board, to show that the scores and the darts were thrown properly. And you had to stream that session on Facebook and tag in JDC Virtual and GoDartsPro. And then we had, instead of the coaches going to the academies, they were online, sitting, watching the streams, validating the scores. If someone tried to cheat, they removed that player. So, and it was a fantastic thing to do, both for GoDartsPro and for JDC, because that changed a lot.
When you think about the JDC challenge, so there is one aspect that I hadn't given a thought, because I'm 196 long guy, so I don't need to focus on the lower sections or the higher section on the board. They are all lower section for me. But when I went to Coventry, they were talking about that when you look at the JDC challenge, there is only number 12, number 20, number 18, and number 13, that is higher section. And every other dart is thrown to the lower section. So it's better for the kids when they have 2 times number 15, 17, 16, 19. They are all on the lower section. Is this something that you talked about with Steve, or is it just by accident?
I don't know. We didn't actually talk about it because the routine was so widely spread and used by JDC players and the GoDartsPro members and on different forums. So, but basically it's the numbers 10 to 20 you work hard on, and that's the numbers you score the most at, and then in the middle there's a section with the doubles as well. But for the smaller players, it's maybe it's easier to reach to score on the lower part of the board as well. So
now when we go further with GoDartsPro. So it has been now almost 10 years old this first pilot that you have launched, and the first thought is about 9 years ago when you had this first kick for the GoDartsPro. How close are you at that vision that you had when you compare GoDartsPro today to the first vision that the guy from Gothenburg got before the honeymoon?
Actually, it took a while before I had a proper vision, because in the first 2 months I felt it was very nerdy and very can anyone really like this? And I was almost embarrassed to tell my wife that I had this secret project of mine. But when as soon as I get the feedback that it really changed people's life, and it certainly changed my life. But when young players or senior players reach out and say, "Hey, what you're doing is fantastic. Keep up the hard work and good work." That of course gives me inspiration and motivation. And honestly, I couldn't believe that back in 2017 when I started, that I now would have 80,000 members, and more and more signing up every day. Especially this is the highlight of the year, of course, with the World Championship. Around 100 members, new members, signing up every day, and it can be complete beginners getting a dartboard and darts in Christmas gift, or people like me haven't been playing for 15 years and started to play again because it's all over the news and the TV, and yeah, it's fantastic. But I couldn't dream that it would end up like this. But of course, me and Mikko had a big vision. He knew that if you want to get really good at darts, you have to practice in a proper way. So Mikko had the vision, but I don't think he could imagine 80,000 members by now. But yeah.
Next question is from my spouse, because she is also watching really closely darts. She doesn't play darts at all, but she wanted me to ask you one question, and this is about something that I have ranted at my home, because when I started to play, it was always a throw to the treble 20, and that's about it. But why? Tell me, why is it so important, or why do you think it's important to have so many different practice games and so many long practice games? Because when you think about the older people, they are saying train for 15 minutes, but ground judgment is 1 hour. The Mikko's 4. One of my favorite games is the 4-4. Yeah, 4-4. It's at least 15 minutes in my level, this game, only one game. So tell us, why is it important to train so that you are using the whole board, using long practice routines, long practice sessions, and not just throw for 10 minutes for the treble 20 and trust the process?
Yeah, we had, of course, many discussions about this, me and Mikko, and he always said that you need to practice for like 20 to 30 minutes and then take a break, and that's still the idea with games like Crown Judgment. That game is a long game, and it can only be played once per month, and the idea is to put the player under enormous pressure, and that you feel that I can only play this game once per month, so I have to make it count, as we say. But Mikko said that the players still, after 20 minutes, they should take a short break. They shouldn't play the game from start to end. If they feel it's also depending on the player, of course. Beginners, they can play for hours, just throwing darts because they're so passionate. But if you want to stay focused, people can only stay focused for like 20 to 30 minutes to get the maximum out of the training. So yeah, there are some longer games on GoDartsPro, but most are shorter format. But the longer games, if you feel unfocused or thinking about something else in the middle of the game, take a short break. It could be 2-5 minutes, but you have to take a break and then start practicing focused again.
Yeah. And how about games? Your games are very all around the board, and I like it. It's for a guy who's like me or who is training with the kids. So I like when you can just a big singles example is a good game, or a big bundle where you don't throw darts at all at the number 20. It's only the 11 to 19. So where did you got this idea that we want everybody to throw all around the board, not just one sector and the doubles?
Yeah, because when you're playing a game of 5-1s, you need to every now and then hit the trouble 13 or at different segments, and you need to get the confidence that you can hit any segment on the board. So it's much about confidence, but it's also much about inspiration. Only throwing at trouble 20, it gets boring, and if it gets boring, you start to think about different things. You start to think about work or school or anything, and you lose your focus, and then your training is interrupted. And so both for inspiration, but also for to stay focused, you need to have new things to try to master and hit. So, but it's I think it was the old player John Part who said you have to own the targets, and I think he practiced only bull for like 6 months because he wanted to feel that he could own the target. So whenever he was up for a bull in a game, either before the game or during the game, he got the feeling that I own this target. This is mine. I can hit it whenever I want. And that's also the idea with having a lot of different targets. And you need to be able to switch targets. If you miss trouble 20 and block that segment, you need to be able to switch to another segment. So that's a good idea behind most of the games.
I understand you really well, and one of my favorite games is the power switch bundle, where you need to switch the trebles and get some multipliers. Maybe somebody have seen this game in my TikTok, but the main idea, I appreciate the way you are. Your fundamentals in the darts training, I respect those and I appreciate those. These are really good things. That's my opinion. Maybe somebody can think what they want, but here we can go to the feedback. When you have now been with 80,000 people using the GoDartsPro, what kind of feedback has surprised you the most? You have talked about the feedback that make you feel good and everything, but what has surprised you the most?
What has surprised me the most? What surprises me sometimes, and also Mikko, was that people have really weird thoughts about statistics. They want statistics for everything, and we had so much discussions about this as well. I remember one guy asking for the possibility to compare if he was playing better on Tuesday than Wednesday, and I think it was like 10 or 15 perkeles at that time from Mikko, because he said that even if it's possible to compare stats like that, it's not useful. You need to develop things that are useful, that makes you a better player. So I didn't answer the same thing to that member, but people really want different ways to look at stats, and that's good, because that shows that they are curious about their level, and that's probably that.
Have players used the platform in ways you did expect in the beginning that they would use it?
I didn't really understand what you mean there. Did you?
When you talk, you are looking at the numbers every month. You have this GoDartsPro most dedicated members, the play task. So do you think that players has adapted the virtual coach and the tasks and everything inside there that you have built with Mikko and Mikko's visions? So are the players using the platform as it's like meant to be used?
Yeah, I think so, and but it also varies between players to players, but also during the season. From November to April, a lot of new members signing up, and they are so eager to practice, and they practice 5-6 hours per day. I can see the stats, and after 2 months, they are getting a bit bored because they are not as good as Luke Littler as they thought they'd be after 2 months. So they drop out in maybe April or May. So that's when we're going to the lower part of the season with less activity on the website. But that's also why I added the Enduro Challenge, a 10 weeks challenge during the summer to at least play 5 different games every week to be able to have like league boards, to win prizes from my sponsors and everything. So but I think players use it in a good way. The virtual coach has been very much used, and that gives them some kind of direction. But with now more than 120 games, there are so much to choose from. So my biggest what I need to look at more is to find ways to lead the players through their training. The virtual coach was one part of it. The playlist functionality that's available, that's one part. To have you can have workouts, you can share your thoughts about the training, because since the start, GoDartsPro has grown to a social darts training website. People share online and share on GoDartsPro how they practice and what they would like to practice. So, yeah.
It has lots of features, this GoDartsPro, so you can pick almost anything. But when you talk about the virtual coach, so like I said, I train a lot with GoDartsPro, almost 20,000 darts thrown every month in training sessions. So
that's good.
So, yeah, and when you think about, when I go to the virtual coach section, there is tasks that virtual coach is suggesting. Then there is segments that in practice you should take a look at. It has a mirror to your Chrome judgment or your Mikko factor at the current moment. And then there is issues. The coach has issues for you. What is the ratings? Which one is the most important and which one is the last thing to do? Because now I'm playing like I'm doing first the tasks, then the issues, and then the suggestions. So how have you planned it in your mind? What is the right order?
The original idea was from Mikko Laihoon's 12 weeks program. He used that as a tool, and he sold that on Red Dragon's website. And it was people who bought it signed up and sent Mikko an email, and they got a response with a few different games, and they sent him statistics, and he looked at the statistics and sent them new games. So that's the original idea of the virtual coach. So we look at the statistics automatically for the player, and it also compares that stats to almost 80,000 other members who use the virtual coach either regularly or just a few times, and to see what you are good at, what you're bad at, and see where your level differs for some reason. So and also to give you a wide training, wider training, because it's easy to practice what you're good at. That's the most common issue and most common problem. If you're good at hitting double 20, it's more fun to throw there than to try to hit double 19. So that's probably why I never got good at drumming either. So, so the suggestions are based on your stats, the current stats, like the past month, then 3 months back and 12 months back. to see like a trend, to see if you're changing in any way, and how you also have been practicing. So on the virtual coach page, you can see the segments, if you're only playing power scoring, if you're only playing finishing or switching, or what kind of games you're playing. So the idea is that you should have like 3 different tasks every day or every time you visit the virtual coach until you finish them. So that's the core functionality. But then we felt we need to alert of certain things. We have a training concept called Premium League, where you have 11 different games, and your best 10 scores the past 30 days shows up in the leaderboard. And if you for some reason don't practice the games for a few days, you might drop out of the leaderboard because you don't have 10 games played the past 30 days. So then we alert for these things as well. But also when we see trends for other players, how they practice, how they change their practice, and how that influences them or makes them a better player, we try to move that to other players as well. So it's a huge project, and it was fantastic to launch it. But today I can't imagine how I managed to launch it. Almost. It's so many thousands of lines of code. So
yeah, you made AI coach before there were no AI.
Yeah, and I never promoted it as AI, because I'm not fond of buzzwords or things like that. But if you ask AI what GoDartsPro Virtual Coach is, AI answer it's AI. So that says it also.
Yeah, but it's like Finnish people is saying that Daniel Stoll is Finnish because we want to adapt him because he's good in something. So AI is adapting virtual coach.
Yeah.
It's my little brother from Gothenburg, this virtual coach. Yeah. When you look at the GoDartsPro in the future, you have adapted Scolia in the lots of games in GoDartsPro. I like to play with Scolia. Everybody, this is not a paid commercial, but if you have extra money, buy a Scolia and train GoDartsPro with Scolia. It's much more pleasant journey. But when you think about the future of darts, what do you think is the next big leap in darts technology in 5 to 10 years? Now, when the players are going over, Mitchell Lawry, 15-year-old guy who's going over 100 average. There was lots of kids in JDC World Cup in Gibraltar who was playing with over 100 average, with over 90 average. What is the next big leap?
Wow, that's a very difficult question, but of course, technology will bring new concepts and ideas. But I think for darts players, more and more understands the importance of mental training as well. The mental aspect of darts is huge, and previously not many have adapted good mental training. Of course, one of the you have to get out and play a lot of different players, play better players to get like a good solid mental situation for you. But there's so many things that could improve when it comes to the mental aspect of darts. So I think that more and more players will understand the importance. But also one thing we're looking at a lot is something called periodical training, that you don't just throw 1,000 darts every day. You play the same games, and you think that's the best way to practice. If you look at other sports, they have adapted the periodical training much more than darts players. So, for example, I've been in contact with Jake Kaminsky. He's shooting bow and arrow. He used to be Olympic silver medal winner 2 times, I think. And he's adapted that periodical training a lot, and he wrote books about how to add that to archery, which is the sport. And so I've been in contact with him, and basically that idea he has, archery is, of course, you have to aim for the middle all the time. There's no use to practicing hitting outside the board or close to the edges or anything. But the periodical training is about setting up different goals for different days. That on Monday you're shooting 1,000 arrows or throwing darts, and on Tuesday you're throwing 2,000 darts. On Wednesday you're throwing 5,000 darts and more intense games. Then on Thursday you have a day off because on Friday you have a tournament. So you start easy with the fun games to get motivated and inspired. Then on Tuesday you step it up, play a few more harder games, maybe the 4-4 or Mikko's Mega Train. And on Wednesday you maximize it. You play. You really are getting sweaty. And on Thursday you don't play darts at all, because on Friday you want to be fresh and inspired. So that thinking is also something that we trying to add more on GoDartsPro as well. And when I say me, I say I mean I will do it.
Yeah, you will do it. One thing, I'm a big football fan. Have played football and futsal, and those were my sports before I discovered darts. And you are from a land with a very enthusiastic football supporters. You are from a town with 4 Allsvenskan teams, so you know about the hype. In football, when you have game on Saturday 5 p.m., you focus on your training, that you are training the hardest training of the weeks every day 5 p.m. because the game is on 5 p.m. Do you think this is something we should adapt to darts, that if you are playing long games on Saturday morning, you should also train on morning to get your body familiar that this is the moment when you need to be the most accurate?
Yeah, I think there could be much of that, and especially when it comes to training in the morning, I think that's the best way. If you have the option to practice in the morning, that's when you're fresh, you have a fresh mind, you're inspired, you want to change, you want to be the next Luke Littler or whatever. But if you practice in the evening when you come home from work or school, you have so many thoughts in your head, you're not fully focused, it takes a while. So there's been many studies about that people who practice what they do, if they can practice in the morning, they get so much more out of it. So that's and of course there's a story about the Swedish Gunde Svan. He was preparing for a big tournament, a big skiing event, like in, I can't remember the date, but let's say it was the 15th of December, and he was practicing 9 months with focus on 15th of December. And on the 14th of December, it was a big snowfall, so they couldn't do so they had to move it 1 or 2 days. And he was a goal favorite, but he ended up like in place 20 or something, because his focus was set on that time and date. So there's more to this for darts as well. So I think it's as a darts player, it's really good to be curious about these things and see what works for you.
Yeah, well, Carlo Ancelotti, a football coach from Italy, he always said that he doesn't mind how they are playing in the beginning of the season. They just need to get enough points. He is always focusing on how they are playing when there is Champions League semifinals on the next autumn. So
yeah.
I understand.
That's super important for darts players as well. And the more you play, of course, the more important it will be. So, and that's I think where these young players are getting so good, the JDC players, because they are used to play the JDC tournaments. They are used to going to the academy to perform in front of the coach and the other players. They used to put themselves under pressure. So when they go out on the big stage, they're not afraid of it. It's just for fun. So it's a big mental thing.
That's true. One thing I want to discuss, the game is already over when this podcast is gonna be launched on Thursday, but today is the biggest advertisement to GoDartsPro platform when Andreas is going to the Ali Pally stage in the last 16. how does it feel to have this kind of Swedish guy who is also a GoDartsPro guy?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I actually got goosebumps now. So it's so fantastic. And of course, we've been following him, these games. And we had this Swedish Dart Festival, the Night of the Champions on the 13th of December. And Andreas' first game was on 12th of December. And he took the flight home and drove from Copenhagen to Gothenburg to be part of the festival. And he was treated the way he should be, like a king. And yeah, it's fantastic. And Andreas is an amazing player, but such a nice guy. And I'm happy to call him a close friend now. And yeah, it's amazing. But this year we had many members from GoDartsPro playing as well. Alan Suter, he used GoDartsPro a lot, and Petrescu. So it was a tough GoDartsPro battle with Andreas Harrison and Petrescu the other day. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. Of course, it's getting tougher and tougher. But if Andreas can play his game and be that calm as he almost always is, he can go really far. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the game.
He looks a little bit of Finn because he is so big and he has big beard and really bit of scary look. So we can say he's almost a Finnish player because there's lots of Finns in Gothenburg area. So no.
Yeah.
It was just a joke. I like his presence. It's a good presence. And when you think about suits, so there is often in the 201 challenge you can see Suter's name pretty high on the leaderboard and Ricardo Petrescu. So are these professional players giving you different feedback than the beginners when they are playing?
Yeah, of course they need more demanding games, so they are asking for different games. Alan Suter, for example, I was in contact with him a few months ago, and he told me he was playing like 5-6 hours a day, and asking for different changes in his different games. But actually, this "make it count," the slogan I use on every now and then, and that is included in many games on the GoDartsPro. He told me that he uses it as a mantra. So when he's on stage and he's got a big double to finish or whatever important throw, he always thinks inside, "make it count." So he used all the challenges. He told me that he liked to use the challenges, and he's so dedicated, so he won't stop practicing the game for the challenge, like 201 challenge, until he's number one. And since GoDartsPro, the philosophy is that you have to continue to practice. So if Alan Suter doesn't continue to practice, he will be out of the leaderboard after 30 days. So that gives you an incentive and an idea of that you have to continue to practice to stay there. So he used all the premium league games and all these monthly challenges, and he's so focused. So he wants to be number one before he goes to the next game.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player, but also the player Kim Heibrechts. He's been using GoDartsPro for quite a while, and he sent me. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago. He sent me a long list of probably 10 pages of different routines he's been using for his training the past 20 years. So when he practiced with Raymond van Barneveld or any other players he used to practice with. So he told me, Anders, please use any of these if you feel like. So I've added a few games from this list as well. So they need more demanding games, of course. So beginners, they ask about how to learn to count and how to get the darts right, straight, and to hit the board basically.
Nice. Before we wrap up things for today, what message would you like to give to the players, parents, or coaches discovering GoDartsPro for the first time?
The message will be to enjoy your darts. That's most important. To find things that you feel darts is good. It's fun. And darts is one of the best sports, in my opinion, because anyone can play it. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl, if you're old, if you're young, almost anyone can throw a dart. And so it's a perfect sport for juniors. I've seen juniors that don't really fit into a football team or in a team sport. They can excel and be the best in darts. And also for seniors, it's good for your mental training with maths and just throwing darts. It's a social game. So if you find GoDartsPro, try out the games. There are fun games, there are challenging games, there are beginner games. And if you don't find a game, call me, text me, send me an email, and I will see what I can come up with.
That's a really good thing to hear. Thank you so much, Anders, for joining us. This was really inspiring, and I think our listeners will get a lot out of this. And so,
Thank you.
Where can people follow your work or learn more about GoDartsPro? It's time for advertisement.
Yeah, either go into GoDartsPro.com, or we also have on social media. We have the Facebook page, Facebook/GoDartsPro, and also on Instagram. So I try to put out the news and the new games, and have a lot of contact with the members there. And also this summer I started a TikTok account just because TikTok is growing for darts players, and I see more and more TikTok users use it. I've seen you using it a lot, Mikko. So, since I'm working full time with GoDartsPro, but I'm doing this completely on my own, still with the good partners as Skolia and JDC. My time is limited, but I try to put out new games every now and then to make it more fun for all the members. So.
Thank you, Anders, and good luck with the games, and good luck with the Andreas game today afternoon against Johnny.
Yes, go Andreas. Thank you so much, Mikko. Nice chatting with you.